Welcome to the N1 Fitness Podcast. I'm your host as always, Marcus Sadu, and today we're going to be chatting a little bit about muscle loss. So just how fast do you lose muscle when you stop going to the gym? So let's say you're going from training X amount of time to literally 0 workouts. So typically folks start to lose muscle after about 2 to 3 weeks, more or less. Now, you might be thinking, but even if I don't work out for 3 or 4 days, I feel like I've lost muscle or strength. You haven't lost muscle, but you have lost some intramuscular swelling, which is just a fancy way of saying that quote unquote tight feeling that you get after a workout that tends to stick around for a day or two. So when you work out a given muscle, let's just say your biceps in this case, you're doing a bunch of curls, okay? Your biceps start to fill up with blood, and that's what's often referred to as the pump. Now, the pump typically lasts, say, 30 to 60 minutes, depending on a whole bunch of factors, but what sticks around after that 30 to 60 minutes is just a little bit of swelling within the muscle worked, so in this case, the biceps. Now, that small amount of swelling that's often accompanied by a little bit of soreness lasts for a day or two, like I mentioned, and then goes away. And once it goes away, your muscle returns to what it was before, minus that swelling, that intramuscular swelling. So this phenomenon can often be confused with muscle loss, but it's actually just a lack of muscle swelling, and it's acute. So actual muscle loss starts to happen after 2 to 3 weeks, more or less, with 0 training. Now, something that I've noticed is that when folks have been training for a long time, so for example, let's say there's a football player that's been training hard for 15 to 20 years. It might take even longer than the 2 to 3 weeks for this person to start losing any significant amount of muscle mass because they just put in so much time and their body is so used to being jacked and strong essentially that these folks likely have even more leeway with this time frame. Now, outside of training, you can manipulate this time frame to a smaller degree via diet. So if you eat a low protein diet, you're going to lose muscle even faster because you need protein in the diet to maintain and build muscle. So reducing dietary protein will accelerate the muscle loss process even more. Also, you could hypothetically increase muscle loss to a larger degree in the upper body specifically by doing a whole bunch of super long distance running. Now, I'm not talking about a 30 to 60 minute run here and there. I'm talking long distances like training for a marathon, for example. Now, the number one factor in maintaining and or building muscle is stimulating it. You can eat all the protein in the world, but if you don't actually lift weights, you're not building any muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it after 2 to 3 weeks, that is. Also, it's worth mentioning that if you do take some time off training for whatever reason, regaining lost muscle is a lot easier than gaining that muscle in the first place. So in other words, muscle memory is a real thing. This is why if someone's been muscular before and they stop training and then they start again, they get back to where they were in the past a lot faster as far as muscle mass goes than they did the first time around. So the body essentially remembers. Now you might be thinking, well, if I don't even start losing muscle for 2 to 3 weeks, how often do I need to go to the gym to maintain my current progress or muscle mass? This is good news because it's infinitely easier to maintain your current fitness level than it was to get to your current fitness level or gain additional fitness. So for example, let's say you were working out 4 days per week. So you were doing 2 upper body workouts and 2 lower body workouts, and you were making progress with that. So you were gaining muscle and strength. You'd likely be able to maintain that level of muscle mass and strength, cutting your workload in half. So doing either 1 upper body session per week and 1 lower body session per week, or just 2 whole body workouts. So if you get to a certain fitness level and you're stoked on where you're at and you just want to maintain it, you could likely just cut your workouts in half and still hold on to that progress. You still have to train hard, but it takes significantly less workout volume to maintain progress than it does to achieve that progress in the first place. You can think about this like learning a language. Building your language base takes a fair bit of effort, but if you just want to maintain what you've already got, it doesn't take nearly as much effort or time to sustain your current knowledge level. So the key take-home point here is that if you get sick or you go on holiday or life happens or for whatever reason you stop training for a bit, don't sweat it. You're not going to start losing muscle for 2 to 3 weeks with zero training. And then also, if you had it before, you're going to gain that size and strength back even faster this time around. Now, I often hear folks say that they feel like they're starting from square one again. And in a mental and momentum sense, I understand where they're coming from. But I just encourage you to hop back on the horse if you've taken a longer break. Also, if you've only missed out on the gym for, say, 2, 3, 4 weeks, in the big scheme of things, it's really not a big deal. So don't fall into the trap that you've lost all of your progress you had made because you just haven't. The same concept applies to diet, right? A few funky meals, a few funky days even, or an off couple weeks, you can only gain so much fat in that period of time, if any at all. So get back on track because you're only ever one meal or one workout away from doing so. Now, if you're interested in personalized one-on-one nutritional coaching and or workout design with me, you can head over to n1fitness.com/coaching or just click the link in the show notes below. Also, follow me on Instagram at n1fitness and friend me up on Facebook at Marcus Sadu. I hope you guys found this episode useful. Thanks for listening, and I will catch you on the next one. See ya.